Welcome to Yak Adventures. We are about to embark on about a 4 or 5 day trip deep into the Eagle Cap Wilderness. We're hoping to get into some pretty good trout fishing in some of these lakes and just enjoy some of the beautiful sights that we're going to see. We're going to climb up on some of these high mountain passes. About a 10-hour drive to get here last night. Terrible drive. Long ways for us. But we got here. And we slept within about a quarter mile of this trailhead here. My wife and I just pulled out our sleeping bags and sleeping pads and slept out on the ground. We haven't even had our morning coffee yet. Oh, we're gonna do some hiking, I don't know, maybe 5-6 miles a day before we stop and brew up some coffee and have some breakfast or something. But anyhow, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. So welcome to Yak Adventures. This is going to be a good one. I grew up backpacking and hiking into some cool places in Canada and Alaska. Anyhow, this was worth the 10-hour drive. Although I wouldn't recommend the route we went. I'd recommend going to the middle of Oregon, not up in the top corner and then jetting back across. Enough said on that. Oh boy, here we go. Look at that crystal clear water. Crystal clear water. Oh yeah. Dude, this reminds me of where my wife grew up, a little place called Penguin Creek. Only thing that's missing is the salmon. Oh, we've been probably hiking 2 miles. So, I'd stop for a break. And, yeah, thought I'd stop for a break. This looks exactly like where my wife grew up in Alaska. She had all this in her backyard. She lived at the boundary of the Chugach State Park in Alaska. You can take the girl out of Alaska, but you cannot take Alaska out of the girl. So hopefully we spoil her on this trip and she gets a little taste of home again. She's coming. She's coming on up the trail. Oh yeah, this is our first major view. And I will tell you one thing, it's about Hero 10 time. It's about time to break out the GoPro Hero 10 and really show you what this looks like in 4K. Oh my gosh. Giving me goosebumps already. So hey, let's turn it this way. All right, so we are going to hit about 6 lakes, 5 to 6 lakes, all up here in the high alpine. I brought 2 onions, 2 sticks of real butter, a whole vial of what's called Slap Your Mama. It's a hot, spicy salt. Anyway, it's seasoning. Slap Your Mama. Anyhow, and believe it or not, I brought 2 yellow squash and some virgin olive oil. I'm not packing, wasn't packing light on this trip. There's 3 lakes up here. Hopefully they got some fish in them. The cool thing is we're on the shady side of the mountain. So, I don't know, it's probably about 11 o'clock. Sun's out, but we're in the shade. Well, we made it to the first lake, and it is loaded with nice brook trout, probably 12 to 14 inches. There's dinner. First cast. Wow, pretty one. Pretty one. Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of these. Right there, brook trout. Gonna get a bunch of these brook trout here. We're gonna put some onions and some butter and some squash. Have a meal. Oh yeah. Here's another one for the frying pan. We actually brought tin foil. Not very big, but it'll cook up. There's a pretty one. There's a pretty one right there. This is a pretty good meal right here. We got wild brook trout, yellow squash from the ridge, cilantro lime, pre-cooked rice. Yeah. All right, we made it to lake number 2. Jaunt over here. Camp. This is beautiful. All right, we're gonna call this the end of day 1. We didn't hike very far today. We were supposed to go 7 miles, and that was probably 5, but it was a lot of straight up. So I'll give you a little tip. If you climb to the very top ridge right above the lake, there's a wild patch of yellow squash. Just pick a couple so that way everybody else gets a chance to eat some too. But if you like yellow squash, climb to the top of the mountain. Let me show you. Oh. Top of the mountain, just above the snow line. See, right about there, an old pioneer planted a yellow squash there for people to come eat. So